Sorry, we're running a little late. Was in a meeting. Kind of have an opening statement here. I want to read a little bit about a couple things going on. I'd like to start by congratulating our men's soccer team. 2-0 start. Pretty impressive win over number 3 ranked Ohio State. And then the women's team off to a 3-1 start and in the national polls. So, congratulations to the start to their year. We certainly want that for our own team. But I want to take a moment to send our prayers down to Coach Robertson, South Carolina's D-line coach. Was in a pretty bad accident. I messaged with Shane a few days ago. Could have cost him his life. So they're very thankful right now. He's in recovery. We wish him our best, and certainly to his family. Our team is in a good place right now. We had a great camp that was catapulted from a really good off-season with Coach Ferg and his staff and our coaches. They've put the work in, and like every camp, when it comes to the end, you're just looking forward to playing somebody else. We've had a lot of situational football. We've had a lot of ones versus ones. We've had a lot of ones versus twos. And we've had a lot of ones versus look squad. So, it's time for us to play somebody else. Now, we certainly have a huge challenge. This South Carolina bunch, I've coached against a bunch of SEC teams in my time, and they appear to be one of the more talented ones. I would liken them to some of the LSU teams I've seen and some others. They're explosive. They're fast. They got good size. I think it's a very talented SEC team. But the opportunity to be on national television, the opportunity to play in an NFL stadium at a primetime slot, the only game on. Again, I've said it before, that's why guys come to Virginia Tech. So excited about that. Tremendous respect for Shane Beamer and the job he's done. He's put together a terrific staff and recruited very well, and he has his team positioned to be top 10. So I'm thankful to Aflac Kickoff folks, Gary Stoken and that group for inviting us, giving us the opportunity to play in this game and to play the caliber of opponent in South Carolina. Also excited about Hokie Divine Diablo, who's currently with the Falcons. He's our honorary captain for the game, which I think is very cool, and I look forward to seeing him. And then lastly, to have Coach Beamer and Cheryl be honored prior to the game, and I just think that's absolutely right. And he's certainly, we all know what he did here in Blacksburg and at Virginia Tech, and it's pretty cool for him and his wife and for Shane and for Virginia Tech. So I'm excited about the opportunity for us, for our team, and I'll take some questions from there.
Brent, I know Caleb had a situation over the weekend. Do you have any comment on his situation or determination of his status for the opener?
Yeah, obviously that's there's been a lot of discussions over the last few days regarding this matter, very serious matter, and there's certainly internal program consequences at play, measures at play, and then the university's policy, the athletic department policies. We're committed to seeing that out. And as far as his play this weekend, that's yet to be determined.
Brent, when you look at him being a captain, in the fact that he's supposed to set the example for the rest of the team, how do you address not only him but the rest of the team, saying, hey, this is a matter that we need to be better at?
Yeah, we removed his captain status with the opportunity to earn it back.
You said you feel like you guys had a really good camp. What makes you say that in these last week or two towards the end, where I'm sure guys are kind of getting antsy, just getting ready to play? What do you feel like you guys really did these last couple of weeks to make you feel that way?
Yeah, I think that's a good question. There's two things that stick out to me. It's the development of some key guys, that you weren't sure are they going to be able to help us or not. We had some guys uptick that I feel better about playing in this first game. And then secondly, you want your schemes, each phase to continue to come together and be closer to game ready. And I think we took steps that way. So I think those are the two biggest areas where I think we helped ourselves over the last couple of weeks.
Any guys specifically? I mean, is it younger guys, or is it guys you guys brought in and just like hopeful that, hey, we're hopeful they can kind of help us and they've kind of emerged?
Yeah, it's a combination of guys. It's some transfer guys that were still figuring it out a little bit. It's some guys that were nicked up that didn't have enough reps for you to feel good about the camp. And then it's some freshmen that have come on and just, it's easy as a coach when guys just make plays, practice after practice. They keep showing up. It's like you don't have to hit us on the head. You're a good player. You got a chance to go help us. So we've had some of that happen.
Looking at the depth chart you guys put out, some of the biggest surprises might be on the offensive line with Tomas at left guard. I know you've been working at right tackle previously. Montavious at right tackle. What did you like about those spots for those guys specifically?
Yeah, we're still working through, the best five and where they play. Tomas has a ton of snaps at guard, and that was a factor in things. I like what he's done at tackle, but I also like what Montavious has done out there. He's got a ton of snaps at tackle. So we got flexibility in that front five. Where we have to continue to build depth is after Muskrat and after Brody Meadows, we got a bunch of younger guys that we need to have come on. And they're getting better. They're just, they're not where they need to be quite yet.
And Takai Heath, you got him on the top line. Looks like it's slot receiver. What has he done? I know you guys have mentioned him quite a bit this preseason.
Yeah, I'm very proud of Takai right now. He's a guy that at times, quite honestly, wasn't sure he was going to make it. He felt that way. I felt that way. But we've hung in there with one another, and Coach Mines and Coach Phillips have done a great job with him. He's had his absolute best cycle since we've been here. He's always been talented. He just couldn't put it together, one phase after another, or he'd have a couple of good weeks and then have a setback, physically, emotionally, academically, whatever it may be, injury. And he put together a really nice camp, and he's earned the right to be listed as a starter there.
When we talked to Fontel on Friday, he said, there's nobody else with a body type like him on the roster. Is there stuff that he does that just kind of is not repeatable in that room, or something that's tough to duplicate?
Yeah, he's one of those quick, fast guys. Good ball skills. He's elusive. He's confident. As a defensive play caller, you try and match somebody up on that slot that could play him man-to-man and place him underneath coverage in that area. It's hard to do with him. He's very shifty. He's got quick feet. He's got a nice way about being elusive and running his routes. He's still not very big. I worry about that sometimes. He's not a big guy. He's put some weight on. He's gotten stronger, but he needs another cycle of investing in this thing. And I'm excited about the year he can have for us. So,
Brent, it's on linebacker. No matter what you choose to do with Caleb, the fact that you guys got short in Santiago in the offseason, how much has their development grown to where you feel comfortable putting them out there depending on what the rotation looks like?
Yeah, thanks for asking, because let me tell you, I'm pleased with the depth at that position. It was a big area of concern going into the transfer portal. You had Caleb, you had J.K. And, to go out and first of all, take an outside backer in Caleb Spencer, who really had played a lot of safety in his career, played outside backer for us, move him in, have him learn that to provide depth as well. And then we were hoping to go out there and get a inside linebacker to complement him. So we're recruiting Santiago, we're recruiting Michael Short, and we just stayed hard on both of them in hopes we'd get one, and we got both. And it's a credit to Coach Adibi, Coach Siefkas, relentless recruitment. And, those guys have come in and gotten better each and every mini camp, which is what they needed to do. They weren't ready when they got here, but they're both talented in their own way. I think those two coupled with Caleb Spencer, I feel good about our depth there.
And look, you have looks like Caleb Brown and Dante battling for starting role at one corner. Caleb being another guy you brought in over the offseason has a ton of snaps from his previous stops. Is it, he's someone where you like the fact that he's got that many snaps and can provide some like a security blanket there on one side?
Yeah, I think, again, you look at the transfers we've brought in, they don't have experience here, but a bunch of them have a lot of snaps at other places. Ben Bell, Tomas, Caleb Brown, IBM. And experience, there's no substitute for it. So, feel good about what he's doing. Right now, it's a coin flip with him and Dante. I see them probably playing about equal time. But they both came on down the stretch. Caleb was pretty raw, took a little bit to kind of start showing up and doing things the right way out there on the field. But and then Dante started slow in camp and has really come on. He's made some really nice takeaways over the last couple mini camps. So, I feel good about where those guys are, and obviously, they get to go out and do it on the big stage against some really good folks.
Coach, last time we talked, Terrion Stewart was dealing with an injury. How do you feel about the work he's put in since then to get him ready for Sunday?
Yeah, we got a little bit of traction. I think this week will be really important for him. I don't want to rush him out there if he's not ready. He's had what I would say is an average camp. And I wish we felt a little better about it. But if he could amp it up and have a great week, then we could roll him out there. He's certainly talented. I'm excited about what he brings to our program. It's just, is he ready for us to go win with him right now?
And you said you're looking for 3 running backs. Seems like there's still maybe some question marks about who that third guy will be. What are you looking for out of that next group to step up?
Yeah, they all just bring a little something different. I think right now Hawkins and Terrion are probably separated a little bit from the others. But then it's, what PJ brings in the perimeter, and Coney's a model of consistency and can do it all at a pretty decent level. Tyler Mason at times looks like the best one. And then there'll be a play where you go, oh, no, so it's a good group. I'm excited about all of them. I think Bennett's going to bring some value on special teams, and he's had some nice runs in camp. So, I doubt that we have the opportunity to play them all, but you'll see at least 3, if not 4 of those guys in the ballgame.
You were talking about the other 2 corners, but Thomas Williams, it seems like he's kind of separated himself or clearly impressed you guys. What has he done so far through camp that has made you go, yeah, this guy is a starter?
Yeah, T-Will he's just gotten better all the time. If you remember his first spring, he had a shoulder issue and couldn't practice, couldn't do anything all the way till about midsummer. So, not only had he not played much DB in high school, he's injured the first part of his experience here, and so it's taken some time. But he's one of our best workers. He's a guy, if he gets beat on a deep ball, he bounces up, sprints right back, lines up for the next play. And he, that kind of mindset, he's just gotten better. He had a really good camp, was able to stay healthy, and certainly a guy that we're going to count on and lean on heavily.
You have 4 true freshmen listed on here: Peterkin, and then Christian Evans, Knowledge Harrell, and JoJo Krim. What have they done? It's obviously hard to play as a true freshman, but it seems like you guys are pretty confident in them if they need to play.
Yeah, I think Snook and all those guys are, we feel like those 4 guys, if the opportunity presents itself or the need presents itself, we're ready to play those guys. Snook is one of those guys that's made a play every practice. He's made a mistake or 2 every practice. He's a true freshman that was a multi-sport guy. He's thin right now, but he's talented, eager. Christian Evans, a guy that's gotten better each minicamp. After minicamp 1 or 2, I would have said he's a redshirt guy. But these last couple minicamps, he's pushing a couple of those guys that are in front of him. I think Knowledge Harrell has been like a veteran since he got here. He just practices, meets, approaches everything like he's a 4th-year player. He's got a lot of maturity. And then JoJo Krim is a guy that I love his traits, his length. He can run. He's made plays just about every practice. I think you're going to continue to see him and Snook just get better and better each week. They were both fairly raw, inexperienced, and they grow in leaps and bounds with each minicamp.
Let's go Andy, Damian, then we'll go to Zoom.
You have a pretty formidable challenge on the other side, and Lenore Sellers. What challenges does he present for you? Does he remind you of any quarterbacks you've faced in the past?
Yeah, he's first of all, I think the hype surrounding Lenore's is accurate. You watch the Clemson game, you watch the Missouri game. I mean, this guy just, whether he's throwing it and certainly doing it with his legs, he's very hard to tackle. He's got great field presence. He's a great competitor, and he's got tremendous size. He's an impressive athlete. And I remember when he was coming out, I believe he was committed somewhere else and flipped to South Carolina. And everybody was kind of curious about what type of player, what type of quarterback he was going to be. But they've done a great job with him. I think he's a pretty special guy. Obviously, we have to have a plan for him. But I think the whole, they've got a couple of tackles that are returning, which that's when you got both your tackles back, you feel pretty good about that. They went out, they got 7 or 8 transfers on offense in their 2 deep. They're still big in their first group and second group. They got size and experience, when you have a 2 deep at your offensive line like that. And then they got their running back cleared, which I think they had a couple other pretty good ones. This guy's got pretty dynamic film. And then they got, Harbor on the outside, who was a national recruit. They've got players everywhere, and they've helped themselves with some good transfers. So I would think their talent level is one of the best in that league. And defensively, everybody talks about Stewart, and rightfully so. You got to have a plan for him. But on the other side, that guy's a pretty good player too. You got to worry about him. So, I think they got their safety. That guy's one of the best I've seen since I've been at Tech on film. This is going to be one of the better teams we've seen, period. So, I can't say enough about, what we're up against with this group. It's a quality group.
Brent, we asked you quite a bit throughout camp about safety depth, and are you going to be able to play all those guys? You got all 6 of them listed, whether it's a safety, sub-linebacker, nickel. Was it just a way of, those are the best guys at those positions and just find a way to get them on the field?
Yeah, I think that's one thing that Sam's done a nice job with is, packaging things. And, I mean, we're much who we were. We're your Virginia Tech 4-3, 4-2 nickel, got some Minnesota Vikings to us. But we've got some packages that make sense for our personnel, which I think that's one of the big things Sam's brought to us. And to be able to utilize, whether it's a couple of extra front guys we have, whether it's the safety packages you're talking about, the nickel play. I've watched that mature over the course of preseason camp, and I think it can be an asset for it. We have to roll in and out of things the right way and have to keep guys healthy, but I like where we're at with it.
Let's go to Zoom for a couple.
On Zoom, we have time for a couple questions from David Teal. Go ahead, David.
Brent, you have often mentioned this preseason situational football. Are there some specific situations where you feel much more buttoned up as a team than you have previously?
Yeah, thanks for the question, David. We've doubled down on red zone. We've doubled down on 2-minute before the half and before the game. And we've doubled down on clock management, clock timeout management. We've had a lot of situations throughout spring, throughout camp, a lot of discussions. When you think about how important red zone is, and you think about how important 2-minute is, so to spend more time, invest more time there, create more situations, more learning opportunities for our staff and our players, it made too much sense. So I do feel we're in a better place that way.
And then last week, Witt made a very impassioned plea to the Board of Visitors for more athletics funding, especially for football. Included in the slide presentation was a list of football investments. How much input did you have on that list? And if you were prioritizing, what would they be?
I don't know that I'm going to get into all that. I will say this. Thanks for the question, David. Very appreciative of Witt, the Board of Visitors. We work like heck to be competitive, but the opportunity to double down on football and the investment there is exciting to me and energizing to a lot of folks around this football program. So, I'm pleased with what I'm hearing. That's up the totem pole from me, but obviously I'm in full support.
Have you had conversations with individual members of the board?
Sure, there's guys and ladies on the board that that I would consider associates or friends, certainly.
Any final questions on Zoom? Okay, Travis?
Thanks, everybody.
Kyron, how eager are you to get out of the camp phase and get to the actual season portion of things here?
I'm very excited. This is all I've been waiting on. Yeah, camp was cool. You want to go through camp, but I just been ready to get back out there and playing a full game, so I'm excited.
How do you look back at your entire offseason with the surgery you had and coming back from that? How do you feel physically right now? And are you in different kind of shape than you were than when you started last season?
I feel like it was possibly a blessing in disguise. Nobody want to get hurt. Nobody want to go through that. But at the same time, I feel like it just made me better, made me more patient. And then what I went through my rehab just to get back and in the shape I'm in now, I'm in better shape than what I was before.
Kyron, you mentioned last year how mindset-wise you guys weren't ready for Vanderbilt yet, like you may have overlooked them. How do you feel going into this year? South Carolina's nationally ranked, but also mindset-wise, how you guys have approached this one?
I feel like our mindset is just going out there. We got a mission to go accomplish, and that's to go win. South Carolina is a very good team. Like you said, nationally ranked. We respect them. But at the same time, we know what we got in this locker room, and it's a time to go win.
On a more serious note, as a captain, how have you embraced Caleb with everything he went through over this past weekend and making sure he's in the right headspace, making sure the team's, in the right headspace?
Just letting him know that the team got his back no matter what. Like, we love Caleb. Everybody make a bad decision here and there. He just got caught up. But at the same time, we already know the type of player he is and the type of work he put in. So whether he goes out there and plays or not, we're going to have his back no matter what. And like I said, we still on a mission to go win the game.
Kyron, one of the guys, it seems like he's really solidified himself this camp is Takai in the slot. What have you seen from him and just the work he's put into to be where he is today?
Takai just grew up. The same, like we've been waiting on him to. We already knew the type of player he could be. He just finally decided he wanted to be that player, and I've been real excited about him, and I can't wait to go play in the game with him.
Coach Pry was talking about how he feels like you guys are in a really good place, especially just from the end, the way camp ended on a high note. How would you kind of just describe the team's mindset heading into this week and where you feel like you guys are at?
I feel like we got good momentum heading in to this game. Like you said, camp ended well for us. Offense, defense, very competitive all camp. So we feel good going into it, and we just ready for Sunday.
I know you don't match up against him in the game, but as a quarterback, are you interested at all in what Lenore Sellers does and kind of what he's done on the field over the last year?
I mean, yeah, I'm interested to see how he is in person, but at the same time, I hope our defense do what they need to do. So it's going to be an exciting game.
When you're scouting South Carolina's defense, what jumps out at you?
Just we can create a lot. We can create a lot of matchups. Other than that, we know what type of offense we run. They don't really know what to look for from us right now. So at the same time, just going out there, executing, and then there's going to be a lot of in-game adjustments.
It looks like from the depth chart that, from the offensive line, it seems like you guys are still moving a couple pieces around. Tomas to left guard after working at tackle. How do you feel about, whatever combination the offensive line has out there, how well you feel behind them?
I feel comfortable around them. They've been working their tail off all year, spring, summer, and then going into fall camp. So I'm comfortable with that O-line, and I can't wait to see what they do in this game.
What is your comfort level in this offense that Monty's put in, and where do you think you've made big strides in your game personally, just working under him?
Just finally understanding where he wants, what he wants to do with a certain play call. But I say my comfortability out of 1 through 10 is at a 10 right now. I just been working with him real close about seeing what he sees, him seeing what I see, just us getting on the same page here and there, and then he just been enthused and confidence in me and the whole offense.
Has that come a long way from where you started in the spring? You say a 10 now. Where do you think it was when you?
In the spring, I feel like if I did the whole spring ball, I would have got to an 8. So, I was really getting up there. It's the third offense that I had to learn. So, it wasn't that hard.
Kyron, obviously been handing the ball off to Bashal a lot for the last 2 years. It's a very different room this year. What have you seen out of the running backs in this camp?
That we can go out there and put any running back out there, and they're going to get yards when the team need it most. Marcellus, Coney, Braden, Terrion, all the running backs, Tyler Mason, PJ, they can all go out there and do what they need to do with running the ball.
And then Aiden Green talked about stepping up as a leader. What have you seen in his growth this offseason?
Just his vocal leadership, him still being young, but at the same time, he's a veteran in the room alongside Donovan. But just him making plays when plays needed to be made, and just him growing as that player that we knew he was capable of.
Let's go back to Brooke and then Dave.
Kyron, how much, or I guess, how would you describe the offense that Monty has installed now compared to last year in a positive way?
Just very get the ball to playmakers and an explosive type offense. Not really just run the ball, and then sometimes passes. A lot of just get the balls to your guys and let them go make plays.
Kyron, you said Monty's been infusing confidence in you. What has that been like? Just how has he gone about doing it, and how has it made you more confident as a quarterback in this offense?
It all started him giving not just me in the quarterback room, but all the quarterbacks the trust to go out there and if we see something we don't like, just go out there and change the play. No other quarterback wants all the keys in their hands. So just going out there and trusting us from the get-go, that's what gave me the confidence. He wants me to go out there and play. Just let me be me and do what I do.
To play in an NFL stadium, you're the only game on at that time on Sunday, national TV. What is this opportunity like for you, for this team, to kind of go prove to everyone what you guys are?
Just to go out there and go dominate. I don't think it's anybody first time playing in an NFL stadium, so that's not really crazy for us. It's only game on, so let's just go put on the show, and that's what everybody want to see.
Let's go to Zoom for a couple. On Zoom, we have a couple questions from David Teal.
Kyron, Brent has made several comments during the offseason about how advantageous it is for you to be working with a quarterback guy as your offensive coordinator, someone who played the position in college and also has coached it very successfully. Have you noticed a difference in working with Monty, just his innate knowledge of your position?
Yeah, it's definitely a difference. My last two coordinators were both O-linemen when they played. It's definitely a difference from somebody that has been in that backfield and has played the QB position. So they know probably what you're thinking after a play you just got sacked and you got a clock in your head now. So they know how to call the play from there, and then they just know if they see you in a rhythm, not to go out there and just keep running the ball for you to get out that rhythm. So it's just it's a huge difference.
Thank you.
Any final questions on Zoom? Okay, Travis.
All right, we'll finish up with David.
What you just talked about to David's question, you feel like he just has a really good feel of kind of your strengths and weaknesses and kind of how the game is, kind of like how you're mentally processing the game in the moment, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, it's a QB to QB thing. I feel like it's best when your OC is a quarterback, especially if you want to be in the QB room. So just him being in that backfield, like I said, he already has felt what I felt in the game. So it's definitely a huge blessing for me.
Thanks, Kyra.
Thank you.
I got questions for Calvin. Start, Dave.
How juiced, how fired up are you for this game on Sunday?
Losing a lot of sleep over it, I'll tell you that. Just, going out, we make the most of this game, Sunday afternoon, Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta, a quality SEC opponent. You couldn't get bigger than this. So we're all excited. We're all juiced up to go out there.
What was that uniform reveal like at
my
Waffle
God.
House?
It's something that definitely I'm going to remember for a long time. I was excited when we found out we was wearing orange because of last year's game in Boston College. It was, a great experience. So we're just definitely excited for this game, especially wearing orange. And we need all the Hokies out there wearing orange as well. So
Are you a big Waffle House guy anyway?
So
it would be.
before that I was.
So what you and Kamari, just to do that, how cool is it? And I guess like wearing a tech uniform in Waffle House, like that's probably pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll go into a little bit about that. I mean, when they called me and Kamari to do it, they knew they put the best two to go out there and do it just because the relationship that we have and stuff. We had a lot of fun doing it as far as, going into Waffle House, seeing all those customers and stuff, seeing guys in tech uniforms. So it was a great experience and stuff. I know we made a lot of people happy that day, so.
You talk about how good South Carolina is. They got a lot of playmakers everywhere.
Yes, sir.
When you watch that film, what jumps off the page to you?
That quarterback, number 16, he's a dude, he's a playmaker that can make, plays all around the football field. So, we are going to have our hands full, but it's always going to start with this week preparation and stuff. I always tell my guys that, your belief comes from your preparation and your daily habits, and that's what we're going to work on starting this week.
And Kelvin, on a serious note, with the captain, with Caleb, the situation he had over the weekend, what's been your message to him? What's been the message to your teammates about everything that happened and trying to focus on the game on Sunday?
Yeah, so Seawood, of course, like he's my brother on this team, one of the few guys that I coming into Tech that I started to hang out with. And, my message was to him that, the journey that we're about to go on and stuff, we're going to have more distractions, more adversity coming our way. But I did tell him that, something good comes out of every situation. And regardless of he's able to play or not the stuff, that you make sure that you're ready. And like I told the team, keep the main thing. And that's going into South Carolina and coming out with a victory stuff.
As a defensive captain, how much do you need to make sure everyone's still, bought in, cohesive, even with all the outside noise?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's easy to look at, all the noise that's out there, all the comments the fans say. But in my opinion, like I just said, you have to keep the main thing, and focus on what are we about to do this season. So, I mean, I tell these guys, you have to be at least mentally tough enough to not look at that stuff and not to focus on that stuff and to really buy into what we're about to do this coming up weekend.
Calvin, this is our first time getting a look at the depth chart here. There are 14 defensive linemen listed on that. Is that going to speak to the depth in that room? Do you think that many guys can contribute on Sunday?
100%. This defensive line that we're going to put out this Sunday is a deep defensive line group. So we're excited to play as much guys that Coach Price always said, if guys deserve to play in that game, he will play those guys. And we had a tremendous going into camp, seeing all these guys, seeing different ability that these guys can do. So it's going to be exciting when you see a bunch of guys rolling in and out and stuff where there's no drop off at all.
I was going to ask, how much does that help in terms of energy where, you can go a couple plays, somebody else can come in and catch a breather.
It helps a lot. And my message to this defensive line is that my vision for a defensive line in college football to be the best is everybody's having plays, everybody's making sacks. It's not just one or two guys, it's everyone around the room that's contributing to this game. So that's been my whole message. This team is like, everyone get ready for a good, amount of snaps because we're all going to need it.
Christian Evans, a true freshman, he's listed in the two deep. What has he done to impress you being only a freshman?
Yeah, just showing up day in and day on, just really getting better on his technique. And the guys like me, the guys on the front, well, we get excited about seeing stuff like that. Seeing a young guy or a freshman, go in and just, taking the coaching, taking the hard coaching, because Coach Bryce, he's going to give you the tough coaching. And that just really speaks volume to the character that he has and the player that he's going to be one day.
Knowledge and JoJo are two other freshmen listed in the two deep. Have they done anything, made any plays that have kind of wowed you and made you go, man, these guys are going to be ready when their moment comes?
Yeah, I spoke a little bit about that in the spring, after the spring camp, how much talent those guys, how much confidence those guys play with. I'm extremely excited about JoJo Krim knowledge because those guys for a freshman have a lot of confidence coming into this game. So I'm excited what they're going to do this upcoming weekend.
I know you and Kamari were together doing that Waffle House thing. How tight have you guys become in the lead up to the season?
Extremely tight. I mean, we sit together in meetings. We sit together in team meetings. He's the guy that I call him when I need something. We're going back and forth just discussing our assets and liabilities that we have, our strengths and our weaknesses. So, we came into Tech together. We was on the same official visit together. So I'm just extremely excited for what he's about to do because we all know that the season that he had last year didn't go his way, but he's a guy that has a chip on his shoulder this season. I'm so extremely excited what he's about to produce this upcoming weekend.
Yeah, I was going to say, there seems to be a sentiment that there's something bubbling there that's going to be unleashed here this season. Do you see that breakout potential coming from him?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, we all come from different backgrounds. We all come from different journeys, different trials and tribulations, but you have to use that as motivation when you come in, and when your opportunity comes, you got to make the most of that moment.
And the Waffle House thing, did you get to partake in the Waffle House afterwards, or there was just like photo shoots?
So when we were taking the video, they was like, pour all the syrup you got on it. It was like you could eat it afterwards. So we're like, we're not eating that. So, but it was a good deal all around.
Back in the room, bro.
That video was cool. Shout out to the director of that one. That was sick.
Yeah.
Defensively, what is the plan of attack considering Lenore and just how versatile of a quarterback he is?
Definitely, he's the guy that's just going to control, how we're going to attack him. I mean, the one thing that we have to do is cage him up front. That's going to be a big emphasis coming up, caging this guy, not letting him out the pocket. But I have true confidence in this team that we're able to get this job done this upcoming Sunday.
Stay in the back with Miriam.
KG, I mean, last season you guys had high expectations. This year, going into that higher expectations as well. We know we saw the offense always had a little slow start, but then they found the way. But we all know defense wins games. Just talking about what your expectation, being a leader, being a part of a big game going up against a big team that's nationally ranked.
Yeah, so going back to last season, I mean, we had all the hype, all the aspirations and stuff. And a part of me was like, okay, could this be a problem for us, especially going into these big games, like feeling yourself that type? This season's the complete opposite. I mean, you look on Twitter, you'll just find out, what they think about the Virginia Tech Hokies. But me personally, that's what I want. I want guys to underestimate us. I want people to, look over us and stuff, or be the underdogs, because that's where I feel like we shine the most. You look at that Miami game, I mean, I had so many texts, so many guys, so y'all going to get beat out by 40. I mean, I don't believe that so at all. So, I mean, that's just the confidence, and the confidence comes from your preparation. So it's going to take, a hard week of practice, but we're going to be ready for this game.
Last one, Dave.
You talk about being ready for this game, talking about caging him. To compare the where you guys are in terms of preparation and readiness for South Carolina, when you think back to last year, the opener, some people have said maybe, like Kyron said, maybe we weren't as prepared as we could have been. You feel like you guys are in a much better position heading into this one especially using last year as motivation.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the coaches, they're going to teach us the X's and the O's, but it's up to the leaders, it's up to the captains to get these guys ready mentally. And that's something that I'm going to make sure I deliver this week 100% for us, that guys, that we're really getting ready for a fourth quarter fist fight with these guys. And I told the guys this. If you're not ready for the big-time moments, you're not ready for the big-time games, just stay here because we need 22 guys on that field that are ready to take action every play.
Thanks, KG.
Thank you.